In this module, we'll be taking a look at the second E of modern work culture, engagement. There is so much research out there that draws a correlation between an engaged group of employees and a high-performing team. But sadly, there's also a lot of research out there that points to a disengaged workforce. Studies suggest that nearly 70% of employees today identify as being disengaged at the office. And a trip to Glassdoor more or less confirms this. Hope for the best, but prepare for the worst. Unless you are desperate, stay away. Even then, be looking elsewhere. There is the pro that you're not forced to stay. Schizophrenic and arrogant. Working here left scars. Thankfully, there is a reasonable amount of free beer. But all jokes aside, this is not great. What if these were your employees saying these things? And to make matters worse, so many employers today simply accept the fact that their employees are disengaged. But what about when our clients or customers are dissatisfied or unhappy? Companies spend millions of dollars every single year gathering consumer data to better understand their clientele. So why not invest the same in our employees? In recent years, we've been tracking the Insight Employee Check-in, where a variety of digital touchpoints are used to track things like employee motivation, satisfaction, and overall morale. Now, while these touchpoints are great for identifying patterns over a long period of time, employers today need real-time data. And this is where TrendHunter's Innovation Assessment comes in, a tool that provides instant clarity and data into how your team is really feeling. After taking the assessment individually and seeing where you score among the hunter and farmer traits, we then take those individual results and compile a team or company overview. That overview not only highlights the strengths and weaknesses of the group, but it also shows how your team is really feeling about your company's innovation, strategy, and culture. We're also able to look at how every single question was answered based on gender and generation, giving you an incredibly precise read on how your team is really feeling. And the insights that we've gleaned from the assessment so far are truly fascinating. We know that over 30% of employees feel that collaboration between departments is not supported. And nearly 70% of employees would prefer variety within their role over consistently being successful. The stereotypes and assumptions that we make about our employees are holding us captive. We need to be leveraging tools and data like the assessment instead of relying on gut instinct, guessing, or simply not knowing. Communication is another way that we can better engage our employees in the workplace. And communication has also come a very long way. Thanks to tools like Slack, Trello, Monday.com, and Asana, communicating with our employees has never been easier. But this doesn't necessarily make for more effective or productive communication. In fact, sitting through meetings and reading emails can still leave many of us scratching our heads. And this is a problem, especially for younger employees. Studies suggest that 81% of millennials prefer open communication over fancy work perks. And according to our assessment, 21% of employees aren't sharing their ideas with colleagues. And a whopping 43% don't even know who is responsible for innovation at their company. While tech-driven communication certainly enables people to work remotely and communicate with people all over the world, it's leaving employees feeling disconnected, disengaged, and generally confused about what's going on within their role and within their company. Organizations need to be prioritizing communication strategies that foster face-to-face discussion, frequent check-ins, transparency, and an actual process for sharing ideas. The final piece of engagement is all about instilling a sense of ownership in your employees. When employees feel that sense of ownership, they are going to be more committed to your organization and more motivated to help you achieve your goals. But how can we instill that sense of ownership? The first step is avoiding a because culture. Now, what is a because culture? This happens when leadership or managers consistently dismiss the new ideas of employees with the same sad excuses. We can't do that because we've tried it before. That won't work because management won't like it. Or the worst one yet, because I said so. This can really leave employees feeling demotivated and discouraged from trying new things and being more ambitious within their role. Now, according to our assessment, 41% of respondents reported that innovation is a component of their compensation and performance review. Yet 51% feel that they aren't provided with the proper resources or tools to pursue new ideas. Now, that really isn't adding up. There's a huge disconnect that exists there. And it turns out that employers like yourself could be missing out on some really great ideas from your teams. According to our assessment, 56% of employees see thinking of new ideas as a bigger strength than simply following a plan. We need to be taking cues from Google, where employees have dedicated time to work on new ideas and pitch them to colleagues. Or Nordstrom, which operates under the one rule of use good judgment in all situations. Instilling that sense of ownership is going to yield far more success than a bunch of fancy perks within the office. That wraps up the module on engagement, our second E of modern work culture. Some key takeaways for you to remember. Today's workforce is unfortunately more disengaged than it's ever been. But by embracing new data points, being more inclusive with your communication and strategy, employees will feel more committed and loyal to your company and its objectives. When applying this within your own organization, what digital tools could help fill the gaps between your peers, direct reports, and managers? And how can you make your work culture more entrepreneurial?